Hello and welcome. I'm Elisa Kreider, host of Connect Hampton Roads. Very excited to be here today with Randy Lougee from the League of Women Voters. What is the League of Women Voters of South Hampton Roads, and what is your role with the organization?
Okay, the League of Women Voters of South Hampton Roads is a third-tier group of the National League of Women Voters. The League of Women Voters National was formed in 1920, and under that there's a state league. There are state leagues, and Virginia has one, and there are also local leagues. And the local leagues, the League of Southampton Roads, focus on local issues. We form positions, we make recommendations, we work with the legislators, and with the public.
Wonderful.
And local league needed an updated transportation policy. I was on what was called the steering committee for our study, and then once we completed the study, I was on the committee that worked with all of the local league members to try to get consensus and approval for our recommendations. From there, we took our recommendations and our report to Richmond.
So,
yes.
How important is a solid public transportation network in this region?
Well, it's extremely important, and not only as to aid with congestion, which, congestion mitigation is a tremendous issue, but just the fact of moving people from where they live to where they want to be working. And if you are familiar with Norfolk's situation, it's very expensive to park in downtown Norfolk. There's zillions of jobs. Parking's expensive, so public transit fits very, very well into that.
It sure does. It could get so many cars off the road.
It could, but even more than that, it's a wonderful convenience for the riders. So.
Now, what legislation, would really help to improve public transit in this region?
That's all tied up with funding. The legislators must come up with a way to provide funding or to help us collect monies for funding for public transit. So one of the League's main activities is an advocacy group for different positions, and so we're in Richmond during the legislative session. We have members who are there taking our message, taking our positions around, and very often our position is we need funding, and it's up to you all to figure that out. Well, the legislators are thinking, well, I'm going to be facing re-election, and I don't want a tax increase. That's a terrible word, or that's a terrible concept. So it's very hard to get forward motion.
Now, our community really relies on public transit to get to their jobs, to visit their family, to go to the store. How can they get more involved and get the attention of legislators?
Well, the key is to be affiliated with a group of people who have your same position or share your same views, and then to have sort of a unified front and approach Richmond, approach the legislators. They're very easy to get to in a lot of ways, and they are more responsive the more activity, the more people they hear from.
Now, what might be some of their objections or some of the obstacles?
The largest obstacle is money and funding. And you can talk about increases in taxes, you can talk about new funding sources. All of that is sort of a no-brainer, but it's not politically very popular. So if you want to continue being a legislator, you have to be very careful when you endorse something that's going to be a financial burden or on the public, or which is going to be taking money from one program and reallocating it to another program. So
That is very true. Now, we're going to have a bigger conversation about these topics and many more. I understand on October 5th, the League of Women Voters for Southampton Roads is actually hosting a forum here at HRT's 18th Street office. So tell me a little bit about this forum and what people can expect.
well, we're really excited about being here for that. And the forum is on October 5th, which is Thursday, and it's going to be here, which is a beautiful new facility. It'll be here and we'll be here from 5 to 7. And during that time, we'll be touring the building. We'll be having almost like a scavenger hunt, except it'll be sort of like a passport
Sounds
approach.
fun.
Yes, it does. It sounds like a game. We can be like the kids. And we can get our passports stamped at different parts of the building as we pass through them to earn a door prize, which is
Everyone likes prizes.
I'm very excited about it. But part of that program will be an informal formal presentation from William Harrell, who is CEO of HRT,
Absolutely.
talking about the needs for changes in legislation and for additional funding. And there will be a discussion of the different options that came out of a recent study that was done on revenue sources for the state for public transit. So it's going to be really informative, and it's going to help the league and the community to really get a solid feel for what positions need to be pushed. And then consider that later, like in January, February, there'll probably be busloads of people from this area going up to meet with legislators and to get their voices heard, which is typical league activity.
And this
Thanks.
event, it's free and open to the public,
Our
so the
event
whole community can come.
Is free. We hope to get lots of people from the state legislative representatives, if we can convince them to come. Could even get federal people, maybe, but mostly the public, mostly members of the public and members of the League of Women Voters, because we always are trying to learn more about a particular topic.
Everyone to come out.
We want everyone to come. We want everyone to come, and it should be really fun and again really informative. And even if you don't ride the bus, or the rail or the ferry, which I can tell you I have ridden more times than I can count, and the buses and the light rail. Even if you don't use those, it really helps to know how important they are to a lot of people, and what a great alternative they are, but how underfunded they've been for years. So
Great.
come on.
Come on.
Come on down.
Come attend. Randy, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, you heard it. October 5th. Mark your calendars. Be sure to come out. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and until next time.